Hey everybody, it's MakeupMenaree. Welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to share with you guys a quick, easy way to do a smoky eye. I know smoky eyes can be sort of scary, and they really are. Sometimes you never really know how it's gonna look until you finish it off with lashes and things like that. But I just wanted to show you guys how I do a smoky eye. We're only going to be using 2 eyeshadow colors and a pomade. So yeah, if you guys want to see how I do that, then make sure to stay watching. Okay, so I obviously already have my brows on. With smoky eyes, I like to have a severe major eyebrow. So I use the pomade. I use the Ardell Dip Brow in dark brown. I do have tons of tutorials on eyebrows, so if you guys want to check those out, I will link eyebrow tutorials here for you guys, so have at it. I have tons of them. Started, I usually will just do a little bit of primer. As you can see, my eyelids are so greasy. I don't have anything on my face right now besides, moisturizer, and you can see how greasy my damn eyelids are. So because they're so greasy, I like to just put a little bit of primer down, although it's not necessary when you're doing a smoky eye because I'm going to be using a pomade as well for the darker color. But like I said, this just keeps things in place for me. So I'm going to use the NYX Ultra HD primer. This is probably one of my favorite eyelid primers. It has always been the one that I go back to on a regular basis. And it just takes the tiniest bits to work. So I'm just going to more focus that in the crease of my eye because, like I said, I'm going to be doing something else on my actual lid. So I just want a little bit of protection from creasing here in my lids where it's super greasy. Okay, because that is a little tacky, it's sort of not the easiest to blend on. So I'm gonna go in with a shade that's similar to my skin tone. It just helps to smooth things out. I don't really need it for anything, but besides just to make, blending my eyeshadow a little easier. So I have my little Naked palette here. Foxy, I believe, is Foxy's there. That is Foxy. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on where I just laid that NYX primer. Like I said, this isn't to cover anything or to do anything in regards to eyeshadow, just sort of to smooth that surface out because the Ultra HD primer can be just a little sticky. Okay, now that I've primed my eyes, I am ready to go ahead and get started. So I like a smoky eye that is sort of a gradient of a darker brown into a black, into a black is my soul color. So for a gradient, I like to use contours. I talked about this in other videos where I like to use contours and things for transition shades. So I'm going to go in with my handy dandy Black Radiance True Complexion palette, and this is in the medium dark. And I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is Contour, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay that right above my crease, not really on my crease, but sort of a little bit above it. I don't want it to be super dark. I just want it to be there as a transition shade. So you can see I'm sort of following the arch of my natural crease, just a little bit above it. Okay, so this is what you should sort of look like. I'm gonna go back in with a fluffy brush that's clean and blend the upper corners and the outer edges out because I'm not really gonna be putting any other eyeshadow up there and I just want that to be blended. So one of my favorite fluffy brushes for blending is this green one. I honestly don't remember where I got it. It's a Mally brush, if you guys can see that. But I will link it in the description box for you guys if I can find it. I know I got it in a box somewhere, some subscription box from who knows when, and I have found it before on eBay, but if I can find it, I'll let y'all know. Brush that I'm using for my crease is a crown brush, and this is the brush C441 in the crown brush, and these brushes are super similar to Morphe. I know these are a professional brush. You might not be able to find them just out and about, but Morphe brushes are all very similar to these. Now that I got that fixed the way I want, you're gonna look like sort of like a half raccoon. And I'm telling you, smoky eyes are literally a hot mess until the last minute. So, you know, just be mindful of that. Even though you'll look crazy, just keep going and I promise it will come together. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with a dark shade. Now, I wanna put this dark shade right below where I put that brown, maybe blend it up into it a little tiny bit. Just go ahead back in with the Urban Decay Basics in the color Crave, which is their black shade here. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a smaller brush. This one's a little smaller than the first one we used. That's the first one we used. That's the one I'm gonna use now. I'm only going in with a smaller brush because I sort of want that concentrated right in my crease, right below that brown. I don't want it to blend over too much because it gets a little muddy then, and I don't know what kind of brush this is. I apologize. So again, I'm just gonna go ahead and lay that black right below the brown. You don't have to worry about covering up your entire eyelid with the black because we're gonna go ahead in with the black pomade and cover that up. So like I said, I'm just taking that just sort of a little bit on where the brown was. And you can see that's what it's gonna look like. Let me do the other side. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm telling you, it looks a hot mess at first. I also suggest not doing these kinds of looks with the entire face already on because as you can see, there's a lot of fallout. And when you go to wipe black off, it makes a fucking mess. So I always do these kinds of looks first with my eyes and then I'll do the rest of my face in a little bit. Okay, so now because I want it to be a little more blended, I'm gonna go back in with that original brush. I'm gonna go back in with that brown that I used, just a tiny bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and just sort of blend that out, concentrating that more on the black. And this also will obviously darken up the brown just a little bit for you as well. So you can see that side and that side. So let me do the same thing here. And I'm not trying not to take it up any further than it already was because I don't want it to go too far up into my brow because then it really looks crazy. Okay, so I'm happy with the way that looks. Back in with my clean fluffy brush and diffusing the edges on that again up top. These looks are all about blending, so just make sure, you know, to blend, blend, blend. And I see another spot here in the corner where it's just sort of not blended in with the black, so I'm gonna go ahead and touch that again there. Okay, so far so good. It doesn't look good, I'm telling you, it looks crazy right now. So now we're gonna go ahead in with the black pomade. I'm using Black Track by MAC today. I just love this stuff. I've always loved it. It looks like a tar. And you can use any other kind. There's a Micah Beauty Cosmetics that's got a black one. I mean, everybody has the black pomade. You can just use whatever color or whatever brand you want. I like using this because it makes the eyeshadow super black. So I'm just gonna dab this on my actual eyelid. And just keeping it on my eyelid, not going up really into the crease because we have that black eyeshadow there already, which we're gonna go back through and darken up a little bit. I'm telling you, this stuff is a mess. Now, if you didn't want to use, you know, a pomade, you don't have to. I just like this because it makes the eyeshadow, like I said, dark, and it just helps with your eyeshadow to stick on your eyelid better. So now I'm gonna go back in with the black and sort of diffuse those areas where the black eyeshadow meets the black Black Track. Okay, back in with that brush with the brown on it, just to diffuse this corner a little bit because I think it's looking a little funky. And that side is done. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side real quick. Back in with that black color Crave. I'm gonna go ahead and just blend those two areas together and clean up any messes that I missed with the black track. All right, now back in with that brown color, just to go ahead and blend the area out a little tiny bit more. And voila, mess. This is why I don't do this after I put face makeup on, because you can see the mess that it makes. So what I'm gonna do now is just wipe this up, and then we're gonna go ahead and do my face real quick off camera, and then I'll be back and we'll finish up the eye look. Okay, I went ahead and finished most of my face. All the products that I use, I will link in the description box below. So now I'm gonna do is put some mascara on, and I'm gonna do a little color underneath my eye. Then I'll put some eyelashes on, put a lip on, and then that'll be done. Okay, so for the under eye, first I'm gonna go ahead with a layer of that brown that we've been using. I'm gonna find a smaller brush if I can find one. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with this tiny little brush. I don't even really know what this brush is for, but it works good for your under eye. So from the outer corner, I'm just gonna drag that brown color down. So it should look like that. Now to get a more smoky look, you can also put eyeliner on your waterline. That agitates the hell out of my eyes, so I don't do that. So, you know, that's another step you can do to make this even more smoky. Okay, so that's what that should look like there. Okay, so now with that same little brush, I'm gonna go in back with that black Crave from my Urban Decay palette and do the same. The other side. Back with that clean fluffy brush, I'm just gonna sort of diffuse that a little bit. So now I'm just gonna add some mascara and I'm gonna add some lashes. The lashes that I'm using are from Koko Lash. They are the Monroe's, and I'm gonna put those on and I will be right back along with the lip, and you guys will see the finished look. Okay, so there it is. Like I said, these looks are crazy throughout the entire process, but they come through at the end. I went with the nude lip, but you guys can use any color with this look. It looks great with any lip color. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.